This video is brought to you by Brilliant. Over the weekend, Republican Donald Trump announced that he decided on his vice presidential running mate. Trump's VP pick has been much anticipated, not just because it could be decisive in such a tight election, but also because whoever he picks would probably be the frontrunner for the GOP nomination in 2028. So in this video, we're going to look at the main VP contenders, their pros and cons from Trump's perspective, and the likelihood of their selection.
Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos.
Now, before we assess the candidates, let's talk about what Trump is looking for. According to reports, the former president is looking for three things: absolute loyalty to the Trump brand and policies, a willingness to go on TV to unequivocally defend every Trump comment and decision, and an ability to look good in front of the cameras. With these criteria in mind, we can already rule out certain candidates. Nikki Haley is out due to her unlikability with the Trump base and lack of loyalty to Trump himself for running as long as she did. Same can likely be said of Chris Christie and Ron DeSantis. Trump's former VP Mike Pence will also not be picked, also due to his perceived lack of loyalty over January 6 Capitol attacks, and with the evangelical voters backing Trump overwhelmingly. His original purpose for being on the ticket in 2016 is no more. Anyway, as we see it, there are four front runners in the race at the moment. The first is South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Scott has been serving as a senator from South Carolina since 2013 and has spent his time in the Senate being a team player for Republicans. He is also one of the few black members of the Senate and the only black Senate Republican. Being from South Carolina, right next to the crucial swing state of Georgia, he might appeal to the African Americans in the Peach State. He's also said to be an excellent fundraiser and has endorsed Trump days before the New Hampshire primary to deliver a death blow to Nikki Haley, who, as governor, appointed Scott to his seat back in 2013. Now, that being said, he hasn't been the most vocal supporter of Trump, refusing to question the validity of the 2020 election, and his mild-mannered nature might not help in what is expected to be one of the most brutal presidential campaigns in modern American history. But overall, Scott's general affability could provide a helpful contrast to the polarizing Trump, which makes him a stronger contender. Second is Marco Rubio, senator from Florida. Rubio got elected to the Senate in 2010, riding the Tea Party wave, and became one of the rising figures of the party in the early 2010s. His Cuban background, combined with his willingness to reform immigration during the Obama era, made him a national figure, with Time magazine even calling him the Republican savior. All of this sparked a run for the Republican nomination in 2016, where he famously fought with Trump on the debate stage. After failing to gain traction, he dropped out and tepidly endorsed Trump. After Trump's surprise victory later that year, Rubio made an effort to fix their relationship, serving as point man for all Latin American affairs during their administration. This has endeared him to the MAGA movement, and his selection would help put Florida, once a contentious battleground but now a lean red state, firmly into the Republican column. However, his past fence-sitting regarding Trump could hurt his MAGA credentials, and his previous support for giving illegal immigrants a pathway to citizenship could be poisonous to Republican base. But perhaps the main issue for Rubio is that if he and Trump were on the same ticket, since they both reside in Florida, they would have to forfeit the state's electoral votes, as the US Constitution forbids electoral college voters from casting ballots for president and vice president who both reside in the same state as the electors. Now, this probably kills his chances for VP, as Trump seems unlikely to move. Third is J.D. Vance, the recently elected senator from Ohio. Vance rose to national prominence with his book Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir detailing life in Middle America. During an interview with Charlie Rose in 2016, Vance said that he was a never Trump guy, but changed his tune in 2022, when he ran for the Senate, aligning himself to the former president and winning his endorsement in a crowded Republican primary. Since then, Vance has been one of Trump's biggest defenders and is not afraid from going on mainstream news outlets to do so. However, Vance has a few issues. First, he's from Ohio, a state that has been reliably Republican and likely will be so in 2024. And his keenness for the spotlight could irritate Trump if it distracts from his own celebrity. There is also the fact that he was elected last election cycle, and there's a tacit convention that congresspeople don't seek higher office if they've just been elected, as it could be seen as opportunistic by your home constituency. Fourth is Elise Stefanik, US House Representative from New York and chair of the House Republican Conference. Stefanik entered the House in 2015 and gained a reputation for being a bipartisan actor during her early years, ranked as the 27th most bipartisan member by the Lugar Center in 2017. She also had an independent streak, such as opposing Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017, and voted with Trump only 65% of the time from 2019 to 2021. However, in 2021, she changed tact. Following Liz Cheney's departure in early 2021 from the chair of the House Republican Conference over January 6, Stefanik ran for the position and won. Since then, she has defended Trump's claims of election fraud in the 2020 election, stating that if she was in Mike Pence's position, she would not have certified the election. She's hit the headlines recently for grilling university presidents over their apparently inconsistent appeals to free speech, which has earned her a lot of fans in Trump world. She has also been less hardline on abortion, and this might help win back some moderates in cities where the issue and the Republicans' relatively hardline stance on it has been hurting their polling. Interestingly, while New York has historically been staunchly Democrat, recent polling shows this gap is closing, and a Trump-Stefanik ticket might make it officially competitive. But again, there are drawbacks to her selection. She's a bit of a political chameleon, which might provoke suspicion in Trump world, and while winning New York would be a Republican dream, it's still a long shot. In 2022, for instance, while New York experienced a red wave on the House level, Democrats still held on to the governorship and the Senate seat. Both are statewide races, and Trump might be better off picking a running mate from a more competitive state. Now, to wrap everything up, these aren't all the candidates. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Florida Representative Byron Donalds, and Trump HUD Secretary Ben Carson are all rumored to be in the mix as well. It's also possible that Trump picks a surprise candidate, as he did in 2016. Whoever it is, though, their appointment could plausibly be decisive in a race that's currently too close to call.
When making videos like this, we rely on tons of data analysis to interpret crucial economic data and understand political decisions. But this kind of analysis isn't just crucial for our jobs. As the world becomes more driven by AI and data, your job will likely require more analytical skills too. And that's why we've been using Brilliant. Brilliant is the STEM learning platform that can teach you all the skills you need in an increasingly digital workplace. They've just introduced a whole collection of new programming and LLM courses, suitable for learners at any level, taking you through everything from learning Python to understanding the importance of training data. And Brilliant isn't just about memorization and lectures. Brilliant teaches you by doing, using active learning techniques to teach you the principles behind otherwise quite complex topics, and ensuring that you actually understand what's going on, with thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data analysis, programming, and AI. Now, all of Brilliant's courses are split into easy-to-digest chunks, meaning that you can quickly and easily gain a real knowledge in just a few minutes a day, with fun lessons that you can do whenever you have time, replacing mindless scrolling on the bus or waiting for coffee with something stimulating and rewarding. To gain access to Brilliant for a full 30 days, head to brilliant.org/TLDR or click the link in the description. That way, you'll get 20% off an annual premium subscription, and they'll know that you came from us, which really helps us out. So thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video, and thanks to you for your support.